Because we live in a world that needs as many heroes as it can get, and in as many forms as it can get.
I'm recruiting superheroes for the Justice League, and I was told this is where the heroes were.
Josh and I were fortunate enough to get selected to do so, and we've been excited about it since we first heard about it, and it was as rewarding as we expected.
Oh yeah, we just did our other boy. You have our switchbacks players too?
There's the kind of two steps of excitement that we get to bring to kids who really need it. It's that moment of recognition of a hero that they've grown up connecting to, and then we bring in a performance element. I actually am Batman to these children.
And I am actually Thor.
And it's that second wave of, oh my goodness, and the positivity that it creates. We've just been able to witness over and over again the power of positivity that we can bring to a place like a hospital.
Happy birthday to you.
What's your name?
The stuff that we do here today, like meeting the kids, or you know how fortunate were we that it was the girl's birthday and we got to sing happy birthday to her. Like, you don't get a rewarding feeling like that any other way, so that's the why we do it.
Give me strength, right?
You've got the strength of Batman, Thor, and some switchbacks now.
Thank you.
You are so
Awesome.
We turned a moment that it went from being at the hospital on your birthday to what hopefully is a story that this patient will tell probably for the rest of her life. At the end of the day, just remember that it doesn't take as much work as it seems to really change the world for the better. Every smile is a victory.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Lily. How are you?
Keep up the super work and get ready to help take care of your new little sister. We can't wait to see what great big sisters you'll be.
3 years ago, Brandon and Tina Goss had no idea how dangerous a little battery could be.
If we knew that they were such a danger, we wouldn't keep them with our kids.
They had to learn the hard way when they almost lost their son, Beckett.
We know that there's a lot of other families that don't have the same outcome, and we're just grateful that we were allowed to keep him.
Their quick actions and a doctor knowledgeable on the issue made all the difference. But not every doctor is as well trained on the topic.
The awareness isn't what I'd like to see, and it didn't used to be a problem. It really didn't. We have lots of toys and batteries and garage door openers, and you know, they're all over the place.
And the more common they become, the more ingestions doctors are seeing.
It's about 3,000 plus a year across the country where kids have these ingestions, and then there are deaths reported.
Unfortunately, awareness is not keeping up.
So you can have them in your home and have no idea that they're dangerous because they aren't labeled currently.
The Gosses are doing their part to warn other parents.
I feel like I have to tell people about it because I just don't want anybody else to go through this.
And Children's Hospital Colorado is working to better educate the medical community.
Hospital Colorado has been working very strongly within our system, along within the communities, to educate all providers that this is a big deal, from the check-in desk to the providers who are caring for the children.
They also provide education to parents whenever they can.
Several of my partners go out, and we're just trying to spread the word that this is something that is critically important to identify and act upon immediately.
Because when every second counts, there's no time to waste.
I can't emphasize the time factor, and that's actually not appreciated among a lot of physicians either. 2 hours is the key. And beyond that, and almost always, in fact, I can't remember any of the cases when I do them, that there isn't significant tissue damage. So if you're lucky, that's great, but typically you're already behind.
You hear the C word, and it's like the most horrifying feeling in your life. You feel your life flash before your eyes.
You inspire us with your strength and your courage, and we celebrate you.
Encouragement and love, like the doctor said today, is just very, very important, and that's what keeps us going.
Mine started 17 years ago, and I've weathered through 3 different cancers.
When you come to an event like this and you see that there's this many people just right here that are dealing with it either directly or indirectly, it makes you realize that you're not alone.
And then coming out here, well, like I said, I didn't think I could make it, and I can make it. I am making it.
You're gonna make it! We made it!
When they're knocking at death's door, many patients see this face.
Hi there. I'm Dr. Willard. I'm one of the trauma surgeons. It's a true statement that bad things happen fast and good things happen slowly.
Dr. Tiffany Willard is a trauma surgeon at UC Health Memorial Central.
I generally will see the sickest of the sick patients, the people who have been shot. Oh, that's about it. The people who have been stabbed. Car accidents, head injuries, assaults.
The road to becoming who she is wasn't always clear.
I was actually enrolled in international business and finance.
And it certainly wasn't easy.
I almost gave up numerous times.
Tiffany grew up in Colorado Springs. She was a track and cross country standout at Cheyenne Mountain High School.
It's been a goal from day one to come back here.
She ran for the University of Kansas, where she quickly learned the business track wasn't for her.
The only class I stayed awake during was biology and human anatomy.
She got into med school, but that first surgery didn't look so promising.
I was exceptionally nervous to the point I actually almost passed out.
Over the years, she honed her skills and built up her confidence, and now has thousands of successful surgeries under her belt. But in Tiffany's specialty, there are a lot of bad days.
The one thing I hate most about the job, and it'll never get easier no matter how good the day is having to tell the family members and the parents that their child has died. I don't know, I just have to remind myself that it's not my fault and we're here to help in any way we can. That's the only way I can hold it together sometimes.
And these are the moments that make it all worth it.
Probably when you get that hug from that mom who says you saved my kid's life.
But the operating room isn't the only place she's saving lives.
I just feel like these kids are really being sheltered and hovered over.
But Tiffany isn't one to shelter. She wants kids as young as 5th graders to see the consequences of skateboarding without a helmet, driving drunk, or playing with guns.
No pulse, no heartbeat in the field.
I will
and no breathing.
Give them that information in the most blatant and gruesome way.
Oh gosh.
Her talks at more than 100 local schools quickly turn to action and help save the patient. And this is Tiffany's hope.
That it changes their lives.
Because she knows all too well how quickly it can all end.
No football player. Just not a football player.
It will never cease to amaze me that someone's life is perfect and within five minutes later they could be gone. And it happens every single day of my job.
We heard that Alicia loves superheroes, so today we are all wearing capes to celebrate the real superhero.
Not all superheroes wear capes, but on this field for Alicia, they did. Wednesday, in the dugout, Alicia was just a kid.
Anything that makes her laugh, that makes her smile, that gets that energy out of her is what I live for these days.
In January, she was diagnosed with Ewing's sarcoma.
It's indescribable how difficult it is to hear that kind of news.
The cancer found in an x-ray was in her 3rd rib and back.
She's on a real intense treatment schedule. It's basically every other week, provided that she's strong enough to start the next treatment.
But with only one chemo treatment left, Alicia stepping up to the plate. To throw the first pitch at Palmer Ridge's Gold Game.
Oh, she's been talking about it all week. She's really excited about this.
I'm having fun with the team.
It started with a family friend throwing the first pitch 3 years ago.
It was nice to be able to have something that brought happiness to them because there wasn't a whole lot of that in their life.
Kylie Walker, who's now a senior, wanted to raise awareness of childhood cancer.
Your personal awareness of this sort of thing changes drastically when it actually becomes a part of your life.
But for Kylie, it's about more than just awareness to those in the crowd.
I really just want to see a big smile, and I want her to have fun and be with us and have a good time.
When I'm a bigger kid, I might come play with them.
A big smile for getting to hold a ball and wear a glove.
There you go.
Oh, and a cape.
She's got the whole world behind her. Sorry. It's incredible.
Yeah, on 3. 1, 2, 3, light it up!
I had dreamed of playing this part since I was like 8 or 9.
Dreams certainly do come true. Grace Davis will play Clara in The Nutcracker this weekend at the Pikes Peak Center.
She is a very sweet character, but she is brave in her own way. She receives this really magical gift of the Nutcracker on Christmas Eve, and then from there, magical things begin to unfold for her.
While magical things are unfolding for Grace right now, it wasn't always this way.
She was getting tired in the middle of the day. She was taking naps. And all this just seemed kind of strange.
That was 8 years ago. Grace had just started kindergarten.
The doctors pulled us out from the hospital room where we were with Grace, and they pulled both of us into a conference room at the same time.
This picture was taken the day Chad's little girl was diagnosed with leukemia, impacting 70% of her blood.
I don't think I really knew what it meant at the time, but it definitely was a lot. There was a lot of chemotherapy, a lot of painful treatments.
The prognosis wasn't good, but here's the thing about Grace.
She's a wonderful girl. She's a tremendous fighter.
And fight she did. Nights Grace should have spent cozied up in the living room. She was here.
We ended up going on Christmas Eve, and it was really difficult because we were used to spending that time with our family.
And here's how she got through it.
Focusing on the road ahead and dreaming about things that I wanted to do.
Fast forward about 3 years. Her family got the news they prayed for every single day. The cancer was gone. In fact, this picture was taken on Grace's last day of chemotherapy.
Probably my most important hope and wish for her is that she has a long, healthy life. But beyond that, it's just that she have a happy life and enjoy the successes she has.
And one of those things she'd been dreaming about was dance. Here's a shot of her first day of ballet class.
It's an overwhelming feeling because you feel a sense of accomplishment, like you did it.
But because cancer treatments limited her flexibility and her strength, Grace had to work that much harder.
So I've done a lot of stretching, a lot of strengthening, a lot of practicing outside of the studio, and it definitely has made all the difference.
Those are all qualities that will serve her well through the rest of her life. And I hope it's a long, beautiful one.
She's wise beyond her 13 years. Even her teachers see that.
I think she lives up to her name. I'm just encouraged. Grace encourages me.
Grace offers that encouragement to other children who will spend this Christmas fighting for their lives.
Wherever you are, whatever part of the journey you're going through, the biggest thing I can say is just hold on and things will get better.
They certainly have for Grace, or should I say, Clara. This Spartan racer is one tough cookie.
It's pretty cool to see my name in the top.
You have to be to compete in races like this, but Kim Butcher is even tougher than she looks. Just like her tattoo says, she was lightning before the thunder.
This does not define me. This thing that happened, I was me before and I'm still me.
But the thunder roared February 24th of 2017.
I was traveling with 2 friends to Arizona for a Spartan race. It was actually the very first road trip I'd ever done.
6 hours in, they were rear-ended by an 18-year-old drunk driver. Luke Griffin could barely stand.
You all right, man?
He was 3 times the legal limit, driving more than 100 miles an hour.
Our car flipped about a quarter mile or so. And landed very far away.
Griffin just stood there as witnesses ran to the car, helping in any way they could.
Yeah, I remember everything. I remember the police and the people that stopped to help us, talking to me, and I remember the ambulance ride, and my leg was broken pretty badly, so I remember them holding my leg and my bones crunching the whole way to the hospital.
7 broken ribs, a shattered tibia, a dislocated jaw. Kim lost her spleen and 16 inches of her large intestine.
That was the most excruciating pain I've ever been through in my life.
While she was fighting for her life, Griffin was much more concerned about his. But Kim was actually the lucky one.
I have an immense amount of survivor's guilt.
Karina Vaden died on that New Mexico highway.
I use her as my motivation, I guess, just to do what she can't do anymore.
In 3, 2, 1, go! Great race, guys. Be safe. Take care of each other.
Now, a year and a half and 6 surgeries later, Kim is back on the course.
The minute I was able to walk, I walked. And I walked and I walked and I walked, and it built up my bones.
It's her therapy, but she's far from cured.
It's scary for me to drive still, I have a really hard time driving at night. I don't drive very far.
When the going gets tough, as it always does in races like this and in life, Karina's spirit serves as a guide.
I couldn't give up, and I wasn't going to let Karina down by giving up.
As for the teenager who took Karina's life and forever changed Kim's,
I'm not going to let the anger destroy me. I forgave him.
He got just 9 years in prison, but could be out in half that.
I had to let it go. I had no influence on what happened to him, and so I had to just let it go.
He's not the first drunk driver to take a life, and Kim knows he won't be the last.
I think people care, but they just don't care.
Still, Kim is using her strength and her story to help someone else make a better choice.
And I know 100 people could be listening, and I might get through to 2. But that's 2 people that I've made an impact on.
She says she owes that to her friend.